Welcome to this video tutorial on circles, both the equation of circles and the equation of a tangent line to a circle. So our first problem is what we see on the screen. We are going to determine the equation of that circle in its standard form and use that to list out the center point and the radius of our circle. First thing is we're going to get everything on one side of the equation, a 0 on the other side, but we also kind of want to group the x terms together, so we add 8x, get it over there. We're going to subtract 16y, and we want to group the two y terms together. It just seems like a wise thing to do. And then we'll bring the 64, and we set equal to 0. So first objective, get the x's together, get the y's together, get the number over on that same side, and get the other side equal to 0. Now we need to do what's called completing the square. So we want to form a set of parentheses that when squared turns into x squared plus 8x for the first two terms. As we saw in class, you basically take half of this number, so we'll put a plus 4 there. Now when we square 4, we really get 16, so that's what's here, but to offset that, we have to then subtract 16 in order to balance out the equation. Over here for the y, cut negative 16 in half and we get negative 8. When we square negative 8, we really get a plus 64, but to balance that out, we have to then subtract 64 as well. So on our calculator, or mentally, we're going to take negative 64, subtract 16, and subtract 64, and that gets us negative 144 equal to 0. But then we want to get the 144 over on the other side. So we'll have x plus 4, the quantity squared, plus y plus 8, the quantity squared, equals 144. And now we can simply identify both the center and the radius. The center point, we basically change the sign. So positive 4 becomes negative 4, negative 8 becomes positive 8. The other way we think about this is what value of x would we put in these parentheses to make the parentheses equal to 0? That's negative 4. And what value of y would we put in this set of parentheses to make y minus 8 equal to 0? Well, that would just be 8. And last but not least, this number off by its side is just r squared. So if r squared is 144, r is equal to 12. And so here's our final answer. The center point is at negative 4, 8, and the radius of this circle is 12. That's how we handle the equations of circles, but now we also looked at tangent lines. So here's our second problem. Notice we have a circle at a center point, and we know a point of tangency. So as we talked about in class, we're going to find the equation of this radius. And that's part of what the problem asks us to do anyway. So first of all, for the radius, we're going to start off by finding its slope. And slope, remember, is y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. And as we polish this off, 4 plus 7 is 11 up top. The bottom is a negative 4. So we know that the slope is negative 11 fourths. We take either of the 2 points. It doesn't matter which one. Let's take the center point. And then we'll plug into y equals mx plus b. So the y is negative 7. We found the slope is negative 11 fourths. X is 3, and we're solving for b. Use your calculator as needed. So when we take negative 7 plus 33 fourths, we're going to get 5 fourths is the value of b. So for the equation of the radius, our final answer for the equation of the radius will be that y is equal to a negative 11 fourths. Let's make that written a little bit clearer. Negative 11 fourths x plus 5 fourths. That's the radius. Whoop, whoop. Circle it, identify it, and it wouldn't hurt to label it either. Now, as we discussed in class, Going from the radius to the tangent line has a certain property. So if we have a circle and we have its center point, and we have drawn in the radius to a specific location, and then we into the circle at that same spot, notice we get right angles. So when we go to write out the tangent line, really the key thing to do is notice that we have the opposite reciprocal slope. So here, the opposite reciprocal slope, or the perpendicular slope, would be 4/11. We still have to take the point of tangency. We cannot use the center point of the circle. We have to use the point of tangency. And then we will plug in to y equals mx plus b. The y value is 4. Slope is 4/11. X is -1. Solving for b. Use your calculator as needed. We're adding the 4/11 to both sides to get the b by itself. And the b will equal 48/11. So the equation of our tangent line would be y equals 4/11 x plus 48/11, and it would not hurt to be able to label that as our tangent line. So really not bad. We're just using the properties of lines and the equations of lines that really came from Algebra 1, it's a review in this class, to polish off the equation of a circle's radius as well as the equation of a tangent line to a circle.